Trump's plan to end birthright citizenship. What it means for you. Donald Trump says if he becomes president again, babies born in the United States to undocumented parents won't be American citizens anymore. This statement has ignited a firestorm of debate, confusion, and fear across the nation. Can he really do that? Is it legal? And more importantly, what does it mean for you and your family? The foundation of this controversy lies in one sentence. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. It reads, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside." This line, written over 150 years ago, is now the center of a modern political and legal war. To understand what's happening today, we have to go back to 1898. A Chinese-American man named Wong Kim Ark was born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrant parents. At the time, Chinese immigrants faced intense discrimination and were not allowed to become U.S. citizens. When Wong left the country for a short trip and tried to return, immigration authorities denied him entry, arguing he wasn't a citizen. Wong fought back and took the case all the way to the Supreme Court. The ruling was clear. Because he was born on American soil, he was a U.S. citizen, regardless of his parents' status. That decision set the precedent that still stands today and is the backbone of what we call birthright citizenship. Fast forward to today, and Trump wants to undo that precedent. He claims that the children of undocumented immigrants should not be granted automatic citizenship, even if they are born on U.S. soil. In his view, the phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof" in the 14th Amendment excludes the children of people who are in the country illegally. He has said he would sign an executive order that would deny automatic citizenship to those children, effectively challenging the long-standing interpretation of the 14th Amendment. This would not only be a massive legal move, it would be a seismic shift in how the U.S. defines who belongs. But Trump's plan isn't new. He floated this idea back in 2018. During his presidency. Legal experts at the time widely agreed that the move would be unconstitutional. They argued that only an amendment to the Constitution or a Supreme Court decision could change the meaning of birthright citizenship, not a presidential order. Still, Trump is persistent, and this time, he may have a better shot. The makeup of the Supreme Court has changed since 2018. With a strong conservative majority, Trump and his supporters believe that the court might be more open to reinterpreting the 14th Amendment. Supporters of the plan argue that birthright citizenship encourages illegal immigration. They believe people cross the border to have children in the U.S., so those children can anchor their families and gain access to government benefits. They refer to this practice as birth tourism or anchor babies, and say it exploits a legal loophole that wasn't meant to apply to undocumented immigrants. Opponents say that this is a dangerous and discriminatory argument. They believe it undermines the Constitution, targets vulnerable communities, and strips away rights from innocent children born in America. They also point out that changing this interpretation could open the door to further restrictions on citizenship, potentially affecting not just future births, but the status of people already living in the country. And here's where it gets even more complicated. Let's say Trump signs an executive order ending birthright citizenship. Legal challenges would be immediate. Civil rights groups, immigration lawyers, and constitutional scholars would take the matter to court, probably all the way to the Supreme Court. In the meantime, there would be chaos. Hospitals wouldn't know whether to issue birth certificates to certain babies. Government agencies might begin denying Social Security numbers or passports to children born in the U.S. It could lead to an explosion of legal cases, delays in services, and uncertainty for millions of families. There's also an economic cost. Many of these children grow up to become tax-paying citizens. They serve in the military. They start businesses. Removing their citizenship could shrink the workforce, hurt the economy, and divide communities across the country. But beyond the legal and economic consequences, there's a deeper question, a moral one. What does it mean to be American? Is it about where you were born or who your parents are? Is citizenship something you inherit by blood or by place of birth? For over a century, the U.S. has stood by the idea that if you're born here, you belong here. Trump's plan challenges that very idea. And it's not just about undocumented immigrants. If the government begins defining citizenship based on a parent's legal status, Where does it stop? Could children of green card holders be affected next? What about those with student visas or work permits? Once the line moves, it may keep moving. Then there's the global context. Most developed nations have ended birthright citizenship, including the UK, France, and Germany. Supporters of Trump's plan argue that the U.S. should follow their lead. But others argue that what makes America unique is its openness, its belief that anyone, regardless of background, can become part of the national story. And so the battle lines are drawn. On one side, those who believe birthright citizenship encourages illegal immigration and abuse of the system. On the other, those who believe ending it would violate the Constitution and betray the nation's values. At the center of it all are real people, mothers giving birth in hospitals, children growing up with dreams of becoming teachers, doctors, or soldiers, and families who have made the U.S. their home. For them, this isn't just a political debate. It's their life, their future, their identity. What happens next depends on courts, on Congress, and maybe even on voters. If Trump returns to the White House and issues that executive order, it will spark one of the most important legal battles in modern U.S. history. The outcome could redefine what it means to be a citizen, not just for immigrants, but for everyone. So now the question is yours. Should being born on U.S. soil automatically make you an American citizen? Or should the law change to reflect today's immigration concerns? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on how this legal and political battle unfolds. This isn't just about Trump. This is about the Constitution, the courts, and the core of American identity. Stay informed, stay curious, and most of all, stay awake, because the next big decision about your rights could come any day now.